Hey, hey, it's your girl, your host, Alzada Florence.
Say that. You better say that. Ooh.
Thank you for tuning in to the You Better Say That talk show.
You better say that. Spreading love all over the community and encouraging one another. Topics that inspire you and me. You've been saying, you better say that. Spreading love all over the community.
Hello and welcome to the You Better Say That talk show, where we dialogue and conversate with people from around the world. My name is Alzada Florence and I am your host, and I'm so excited that you took the time to join us today. Listen, I am overwhelmed and overjoyed to have such an honorable guest today. He is the former mayor of the city of Opelika. He is a community leader. He is one upstanding guy. And I am so honored to have him here with me today. Help me welcome our former mayor, Gary Fuller.
Oh, thank you, Alzada. Thank you so much. Listen, if you were running for something, I'd vote for you. Let's make full disclosure, Alzada. You and I worked together
Yes.
for a long time at Opelika City Hall when Opelika Power Service was there.
Yes.
And you've always been one of my favorite people, and I've followed your evangelism and your ministry, and you've done just what God told you to do, and you're still doing it. So congratulations to you, and I'm so happy to be on. You better say that, because I've been kind of keeping up with your podcast and what you're doing in the community, and so I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, you are so welcome. And you're right. I worked under you for 14 and a half years, and it was a joy. And one thing about the mayor, he is just so personable. And that's what I've always liked about him. Sometimes you can, you get people, you can't speak to them, you can't talk to them, but he's always been personable. He's always been concerned, and he's always been supportive. So that's why he is here today. And he is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, too. So I'm excited to have you with me today. All right. So listen, okay, tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you did prior to mayorship.
Sure, I'm glad to. First, I grew up in Dayton, and we thought Opelika was the big city when we were growing up. And I went to Dayville High School, and then of course I had kin folks that lived in Opelika, and we came down, and then I was with the company out of Selma that tried to buy a couple of radio stations here back in the 70s. I came over for a while. We were not able to close the deal. We bought something else, moved away, and then had the opportunity. Laura and I had the opportunity to buy those stations in 1985, and we did, and moved back to Opelika, and so we've been here ever since, and love Opelika. Laura, my wife, is a New Orleans girl, and she's an Opelika girl now.
Yes, she is.
And I remember both of our children were born here in Opelika. Our daughter Jenny she went to Auburn and then went to the University of Alabama School of Medicine, and she's a physician over in Greenville, South Carolina. Her husband is also a physician. Then our son Gary Jr. and his wife Hannah live in Savannah, and Gary works with Chick-fil-A. And so we were in the radio business for a long time until 1998. And Alzada, we had these folks from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they knew they were a lot smarter than I was, and they told me they were, and I agree with them.
And you
I said,
believed them?
"Y'all are." And they came down here and they said, "Gary, we can do this better than you can, and we got the money to prove it." And I said, "Really?" And they did. And so they bought us out in 1998.
Wow.
So I was going to play a lot of golf
Yeah.
and maybe do a little consulting. And so I ran for city council in 2000. My friend Tom Bryan, that had been the representative from Ward 4, decided not to run. So I ran just because I've always believed in public service, and I wanted to help. So I was on the city council in 2000. Dr. Leslie and I got elected at the same time.
That's right.
Patsy Jones was from Ward 1, Clarence Harris from Ward 2, Jerry Teal from Ward 3, and he was president. I was from Ward 4, and Dr. Lansing was from Ward 5. Of course, Barbara Patton was our mayor.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I never once thought, Alzada, that I had any interest in being the mayor or anything else. I was just going to be on the city council. And I got a little sideways with Mayor Patton, and she's a wonderful person.
Yes, she is.
And,
Yes.
sweet as she can be, but I thought we were losing industry and we were losing jobs.
That's right.
And I said, you know, our people have got to work. And if we're going to help folks improve their lives, improve their living ability, educate their children,
Yes.
they've got to have a good paying job.
Sure.
And I'm a salesman, and I was aggressive about it. So I got elected in 04,
Right.
running on I'm gonna operate city government like a business. Now, Alzada, you know as well as I do, you can't run just like you can't run a church like a
you do.
business.
No, you
but
can't.
There's certain business principles and practices that apply to the church, to City Hall,
All across the board.
across the board.
Mhm.
So we tried to do that. First of all, I know who the boss is.
Yes.
And I told him at the first staff meeting I went to at City Hall in 04, right after I got elected. I said, and had all those department heads. I said, now I want to tell y'all who the boss is.
Yes.
And I'm sure some of them rolled their eyes and said, oh Lord, here it comes.
Here comes the boss.
I said, I'm not the boss.
Right. Right.
The city council is not the boss. The citizens of Opelika are the boss.
Come on through now.
And I remember meeting with Chief Tommy Mangum, the police chief. And this is before I took office. And I said, Chief, you're the professional law enforcement person. I'm not going to tell you how to do your
That's right.
job. I'm a layman.
That's right.
But I said, here's some things that I'd like. Number one, I want everyone treated with courtesy and respect.
Right.
I don't care what color they are.
Yes.
I don't care what gender they are. I don't care who their granddaddy is.
Yes.
We used to have that old thing, oh,
Yeah. So
that's Miss Alzada Florence's grandson.
Yeah.
We can't do anything with it.
Mm-mm.
No, it doesn't matter. Treat everybody. And I said, I want us to slow folks down in the neighborhood. People driving too fast. Well, funny story, Alzada. It wasn't 3 weeks later. Chief called me on my phone there at the office. Now, I found out the backstory later. He said that a lady was chewing him out about a speeding ticket. And he said, well, ma'am, the new mayor has asked us to crack down on speeding in the neighborhood. She said, the mayor is a good friend of mine. We supported him in the campaign. I go to church with him.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm certainly going to talk to Gary. So Chief said, well, hold on, let me put you
On
through.
the phone.
Well, by golly, here we are. And she starts and she is a good friend.
Right.
And
right.
she said, I said, well, hold on just a second. I said, were you speeding? She said, yes.
Oh.
I said, okay, slow down and pay the fine.
That's right.
Well, can't you do so? I said, I'm not going to.
That's right.
If I was going to do it for anybody in the world, I would do it for you, but I'm not going to do it for anybody.
That's right.
And I'll say, with God as my witness, 21 years, I never fixed a single ticket. Now, you'll get a kick out of this. A few years later, Gary Jr. and Jenny Gary was in school at Birmingham Southern. Jenny was at the School of Medicine. They actually rode home together,
Oh,
which
my
was kind of
goodness.
unusual.
Right.
You know, everybody needs a car.
Right.
It's for Thanksgiving. Get there Wednesday afternoon. Gary says, Daddy, do you know the mayor of Alex City? I said, I sure do, Gary. I said, that's Miss Barbara Young.
That's right.
How well do you know her? I said, what you talk about?
Yeah.
boy?"
What's up?
Well, he said, I got a speeding ticket in Alex City, and I was wondering if you'd call Mayor Young. I
And
said,
fix it.
yeah. I said, no, I won't. Well, why? He said, Dad, it's going to be $147 or something. I said, you better be getting up the money. I said, 2 reasons, Gary. Number one, she might tell me the same thing I tell her.
That's
I
right.
don't do that.
That's right.
Here's what would be worse. If she took care of your ticket,
Mhm.
at some point she might expect me to reciprocate, and I
don't wanna
can't do it.
That's
I'm not
right.
gonna do it. So, anyway, but
I
yeah,
love it.
so Dadeville, and here I am, and been the mayor, and had a lot of fun doing that.
That's
and,
right.
So, and I'm glad to be with you today.
Amen. Well, you know what? That is a awesome start, because I knew that you owned the radio stations. I knew that you did that really well. And then I knew that it was sold, but I didn't know how you got into politics. Well, you just retired, but you retired after 21 years as mayor, plus the 4 as a city councilman. So that's almost 25, 26 years in politics and in government. You know what I'm saying? So what led you to actually run for the seat? Because I know you probably could have did councilman for 10 or 15 or 20 years, just stayed right there like some of them have. But you went from being a city councilman, one term, 4 years, to the mayor for 21 years. What was the catalyst that drove you to being the mayor? What did you want to see?
I wanted to see, I wanted to see us grow. I wanted to see us improve our schools. The main thing I wanted was good paying jobs.
Yes.
And back I took office in October of '04, which was the start of fiscal year '05.
Mhm.
We had already lost Western Mills. We had already lost Diversified Products. We were
Uniroyal.
about to lose Ampex or Quantity. Then we lost West Point Pepper.
Mhm.
Then we lost Uniroyal, which was the B.F. Goodrich plant. And we just got kicked in the gut on losing jobs. Now we had recruited Mando, and they were here, but I thought we should be more aggressive. And by that I mean let's load up and let's go to Korea, let's go to Germany, let's get face to face, and let's talk with folks.
Wow.
And people like to do business with people they like,
That's
and with
right,
people they
face to
trust.
face.
And so we started. Alzada, I think I've been to Korea 26 or 27 times. It's
Really?
a long way.
I know.
It's 15 hours nonstop going and a little shorter coming back. You got
Right.
a tailwind.
Mhm.
But here's a good example of why we go. We go to see existing customers.
Mhm.
Mando. When Mando came here 20 years ago, almost 21 years now, they promised us a $17 million capital investment, 150 jobs. Now, each year, we've been seeing them and loving on them and talking with them.
Mhm.
Today, they have over $200 million invested in Opelika
Yes.
and about 700 good paying jobs.
Yes. Ooh,
'Cause they have
wow.
grown.
That's right.
So most new jobs come from expansion of existing industry. So we keep working on our current folks. Golden State Foods, Pharmavite, makes Nature Made vitamins. And
Niagara, the water company.
the water, Niagara Water. We went out to see Niagara Water. Eddie Smith went with us, John Swedman, Ronnie Wilson, chairman of the Industrial Development Authority.
Mhm.
And Alzada, it's second nature for us to go see folks.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's just
Just
part
go
of
see
what
what's
we do.
going on out here.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So we get in this room, this big conference room with Niagara Water, and they had they had 2 or 3 of their lawyers and folks there. And so we start out, and I get to talk first, and I said, "Thank y'all for letting us come to see you.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to thank you for your investment in Opelika and those good jobs.
Yes.
Appreciate
Yes.
it. Thank you. Number 2, what can we do to help y'all expand Opelika and make more money?"
That's right.
Well, Alzada, they said, they thought we were there because we had some kind of lawsuit problem. We said, "Oh no!" Well, they breathed a sigh of relief, and they said we were the first community to come and see them at their home office in California.
Wow.
I said, "Well, this won't be the last
That's
time.
right.
We'll
That's
be
right.
here on a regular basis.
Oh,
We're gonna
wow.
stay close to you."
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it
So
is.
your desire to see the community, the city of Opelika just grow. Well, we know that has happened. We have so many new jobs and new, not residents. We have the community has exploded. I mean, houses are going up everywhere. Communities are going up everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, the school has expanded. So we have really grown. Under your leadership, after 21 years, we can see the powerful manifestation of what you brought to Opelika. you know, and the growth of it, the development of it, you know. And I'm so excited because I'm a transplant, you know, I'm from the Valley, and we moved here over 20 something years ago. And I tell you, it has grown tremendously since I've been here, you know, under your leadership. So, how in the world that did that happen? What did it take you and as a leader, the mayor, and your team to manifest this? Because you know, I know you didn't do it by yourself.
No, no.
So tell us a little bit of how and what it took.
It took, and absolutely it was a team effort.
Mhm.
I promise you, Alzada, it takes a team to do what we've done.
That's right.
And you'll appreciate the story from Coach Pat Dye.
Okay.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Several years ago, at a civic club meeting, I was walking out and I hear somebody behind me say, "Mayor, Mayor." Turn around, it's Coach Dye.
Yes.
Coach Dye shakes hands and he wants to brag on me. Now you know we
Well,
all
of
like
course.
that. We all like that a little bit.
That's right.
And he was talking, and he said, "I've been following Opelika for 40 years. Bobby,
Yeah.
you've done so." Finally, I said, "Hey, Coach, time out."
Time out.
I said, "Listen, thank you, but it's just like when you were winning those championships.
Come on through.
At all,
You better say that.
you had great players,
Yes.
you had great coaches, you had a medical staff,
Come on.
and back then you had tutors to keep those boys eligible."
That's right. Exactly. Got to have that
You
now.
gotta have that. And I said, it's the same way with the mayor. I've got a great city council, we've got great department heads, and we've got great people that live in Opelika that want us to do better,
That's right.
want us to be successful. And more folks, you know, we've attracted over almost 6,000 new good paying jobs. We have built over 5,000 new single family homes.
Mhm.
And now I understand, I saw a thing about this the other day, and Mayor Smith mentioned it.
Uh-huh.
They're going to put a moratorium on building for a year so that we can catch up with the infrastructure,
Okay.
streets, sewer,
That's
water,
good.
public safety,
Very
police, fire, all that stuff, because our growth has been so rapid.
Yes. Yes.
And we've almost outkicked our coverage. So
Kind of outgrew ourselves.
outgrew ourselves. So
Mhm.
I think putting a little time out on that.
Yeah.
Now there'll still be building going on because
Okay.
lots have been planted and so forth.
Okay. They'll finish that out
Yes.
before they continue to add something else.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with you.
Hi, I'm Gary Fuller. For 21 years, I served this great community as mayor. But today I had some of the most fun I've ever had being on with Alzada Florence, and You Better Say That program. What a delightful time we had with Pastor Alzada. It was more fun than a barrel of monkeys. So hope you'll watch that. And it was great being your mayor, and let's all get behind Mayor Smith and support him and help him do a great job. Thanks.
Hey, we're back from our commercial break and we're going to finish this dynamic, wonderful conversation with the former mayor, Mayor Gary Fuller. Well, you know, I've seen how the community has grown with houses. I'm talking about houses, and they're going up everywhere. I was like, oh my God, what are they going to put there? What are they going to put there? You know, you see, you know, new development going on. You know, one thing I would like to see is just affordable housing. You know, affordable, because you know everybody one can't buy a $300,000 or $400,000 house. Maybe you know the houses maybe 125, 30. You know, but I did talk to one developer, Tim Moore, and I said, when are you going to build? What are you going to build in your your development land and stuff? He said, well, you know, it costs more to build, you know, these more to build affordable houses. You know, I was like, really? He said, yeah, but you know, I said we need that too. But nevertheless, you know, we're excited about what Opelika is doing. And so teamwork make the dream work, right?
Oh, no kidding. And you know, having having our schools involved, having civic clubs involved, having great organizations like the Victorian Front Porch Christmas,
Yes, beautiful.
and all the work that took place at Courthouse Square with Christmas and a railroad
Snow
town,
Opelika, yes.
all those things. And you know, Alzada, and your church is a great example. I've said many times that part of our success in Opelika is because we have so many wonderful families of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe in prayer. We believe in acknowledging
That's right,
the
God, the
awesome
Lord.
power of God and His
Yes.
Son Jesus Christ.
Come on through now.
And
Yes.
so I think we've been blessed.
Well, and we have been. and the best is yet to come.
Yes.
Yes, so we're looking forward to growing and continue to busting out at the seams and continue to make this a great place. You know, I talk to people all the time, and this particular conversation I had with two young ladies, and I think I was in Auburn in the mall, and we was just standing in line, and it was the holiday, so we was standing in line a long time, and we were just talking about they lived in Auburn. And I think they were students, and so I live in Opelika, and they said, "Oh, we love coming over to Black Friday, Fruit Truck Friday."
Oh yeah.
Food Truck Friday, and they said, "I said, well, y'all like coming to Opelika over Auburn?" "Oh yes, yes." It's they was just talking about how much they love coming over here versus staying in Auburn in their own city. Well, I'm sure they was just visiting, for school and everything, but to hear people from Auburn say that they love to come over here, to our Friday, Food Truck Friday, it was just so, uplifting and so encouraging. And when I have friends coming here from out of town, they say, "Oh, this Opelika is so clean and it's so beautiful." And I said, "Well, honey, you don't know our mayor. He will get you if you walk by some paper and it's on the ground. He's gonna say, 'Alzada, did you not see that paper? Pick it up.'" But I've watched you the years that I worked at City Hall, and I watched him try not to cry, but I watched you walk across the parking lot. And if there were paper on the ground, I witnessed you more than once pick that paper up and put it in the trash. That spoke volumes to me because you just didn't expect us to serve. You served. You paved the way of what you wanted to see in the community. You just didn't talk it, but you walked it out. Because a person of your title and your position, they probably would have just walked over it and say, call the trash company, call Public Works and tell them it's a piece of trash right here. Ask them to pick it up. But you became the trash man to pick up the trash, and you expected us to do the same.
Thank you. If I've got a pet peeve, it's litter. And Alzada, I've been fortunate to represent this great community all over the world.
Yes.
And I've been proud to represent Opelika. But I remember a number of years ago, I was in downtown Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, wow.
Tokyo must have 10, 12 million people.
Yes.
We're walking down the street with a group, we're going to lunch. And I stop everybody.
Uh-huh.
They said, what? I said, "Have y'all noticed anything?" I said, "There's no litter." No litter.
None?
Downtown Tokyo, 10, 12 million people.
I don't believe it.
Not a cigarette butt, not anything.
What?
And no trash receptacle. We got trash cans all over downtown
Yes.
Opelika.
Yes.
I asked a Japanese guy later that day, I said,
Uh-huh.
I didn't see, I saw no litter. How do y'all do that?
Right.
He said, "Our pride." Said a Japanese person would never throw anything down. If we see something, we're going to pick it up and take it and put it in the proper receptacle. And I've talked to school children. I said, "Look, y'all, if they can do that in a city with 10, 12 million, surely we got 34,000. Surely we can do it in Opelika."
Surely we can.
But dad burn that litter is a dad burn problem. And it's just a civic pride thing. But one of these days, if you and I keep picking it up, maybe
everybody else will catch on. We'll be the trendsetters.
Thank you, but thank you for mentioning that.
Yes, sir. It was just it tugged at my heart. So yeah, listen. So when you talk about bringing the community together and doing this great development, this great change that we see in Opelika, how important is community? How important is it to you?
Community, I think, is critical. Us being together and being together in good times and bad times, in between times. That COVID was tough on all of us.
Yes.
But our community stuck together.
Yes.
We even got some of the stores to cooperate and not let too many people in at one time. And the way that neighbors help neighbors in a tough time,
yes,
just does my heart good. And and I give Chief Healy and the Opelika Police Department a lot of credit for they had a campaign that they introduced a few years ago called Together Opelika. And they started spending time out in the community playing basketball or playing soccer or being with kids. Back during the summer, having have a pop with a cop. You know,
Oh,
have
yeah.
those popsicles
Yeah.
going around.
Oh, that's awesome.
Having a relationship so that that young person knows that that police officer is not their enemy.
Yes. That's
I heard a mother a few years ago. There was a policeman there, and the little child was kind of misbehaving, and the
Mhm.
mother said, "If you don't straighten out, I'm going to tell that policeman
That's
to
right.
get you." I said, that policeman is his friend.
Friend, oh.
Don't
She
do
tried
that."
to put a little fear in him.
So I think Chief Healy, what he's done, and I think we've got a new chief coming, and I think that Chief Clifton, is going to continue with what Chief Healy started,
Okay.
and I think that relation with the community is so good. And,
Mhm.
you know, the things like Friday night, we're all together at Bulldog Stadium, and
Yes.
pulling for the Bulldogs, and
Yes.
basketball and baseball and track and things that our kids do, and we're so proud of, and proud of this community, and so I think community is critical. Who would want to live in a place that didn't have caring, concerned people that care about one another?
That's right. Exactly. And you know, you make it so easy for a community to come together. You know, when you do go to Food Truck Friday, it's packed. You know, it's just over, and people come from, all the different places. 20 and 30 miles just to be here.
Sure.
I mean, but it gives community a sense of value. It gives them a sense of unity. And that we can do this and we can do it together.
Oh, sure.
It's not separate. It's not for one group or one class or anything. It's for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And to see how you all reconstructed downtown. Because when I first came here, it was about to go down over 20 something years ago. It was like stores was closing and it was kind of start looking, like a lot of downtowns, were. Even in West Point, downtown West Point was about to go down, but Point came along and it's revamped and it's beautiful now. But to see how you guys came in and just reconstructed downtown Opelika is totally amazing. But you did it for the community.
Well, and now later we spent your money and my money.
Yep.
We
The
spent tax
taxes.
money. I don't know how many million we spent downtown putting underground utilities, new landscaping, new sidewalks, Courthouse Square. And speaking of sidewalk, we've done a lot of sidewalk replacement. I was thinking just yesterday I was on Fourth Avenue.
Right.
We replaced that sidewalk on both sides of Fourth Avenue,
Oh, wow.
and it needed replacement.
Yeah, yeah.
And downtown, we replaced some sidewalks on the north side and all around. But yeah, doing things as a community, doing things together. Food Truck Friday is a great example of what we do with like Easter on the square. You go down
Yes.
on Saturday morning before Easter, and they turn those children loose at Courthouse Square, getting those eggs. And I mean, it's a hoot. And of course, Snow Opelika with
That's
all
right.
of us together
Beautiful.
then. So
Yeah.
all great things.
Exactly. And another thing you said that really resonated with me was the fact that we are a faith-based community. We don't want to push Jesus out. We welcome him in, and a lot of cities and towns and states, they don't do that, but we're down south and, we love Jesus down here, and we will forever. And I think that contributes to us being so successful. We acknowledge him, and you're not ashamed, you're not afraid, and, to acknowledge him, and allow us to continue to do that,
Yeah. And Alexander, my wife, who doesn't like to be out front on
Yeah.
it, she'd prefer to be in the background, but she and some other folks have been involved with the National Day of Prayer,
Yes.
which is, I think, the first Thursday in May at Courthouse Square. And, we get the mayors. I'm sure this year they'll have Mayor Smith, Mayor Anders, the mayor of Smiths, the mayor of Lochapoka will all come and pray.
Yeah.
Then they'll have different ministers pray, and all it's a
beautiful.
beautiful ceremony. At the radio station
Yes.
forever. He always comes down and broadcasts the National Day of Prayer.
Yes, he
But
does.
that's another one.
Important. A lot of times when we look at the news, even today, what's going on in our community, we need prayer. We've got to have it. So, I'm grateful for that about you. I appreciate you that, and I love you. So listen, now that you're retired, man, he has retired after 2 decades of serving the community. What in the world, and how are you handling retirement? How are you handling that?
I'm not sure I'm doing it very well, but you know, I like to work,
Hmm.
and making full disclosure, I'm 82 years old.
Yeah,
Now, I used to think 82 was old, but now that I'm 82, I don't think it's very. I think a
exactly.
lot of us right up here in
It
your
is
thinking,
right. You look great.
and praise God, you know, my health is
Hmm.
pretty good, and I get around all right.
Hmm.
So I want to do some stuff. I want to do some things in the community. I've been interested for a long time in early childhood education.
Really,
And
tell us about
we
that.
got involved several years ago, and I had some great help with Patsy Jones and Dr. Patsy Parker
Hmm.
to get some more first class pre-K classrooms
Hmm.
in Opelika. That's for 4-year-olds.
Okay.
Now, Greater Peace had a couple.
Hmm.
Well, we got Dr. Neighbors and Opelika City Schools involved. We got the depot involved. Today we have 16 first class pre-K classrooms in Opelika.
Really?
We need more
Okay.
for all 4-year-olds.
Okay. Hmm.
Now, and so we're working on some things because even children younger than 4, and then this thing about daycare
Yes.
and working parents wanting to work and the cost of daycare. My goodness, it and it keeps a lot of folks that would like to work
Hmm.
from working because of the cost of the daycare.
That's
So
true.
does government have some responsibility there?
Yes,
I think yes,
they do.
and
Mhm.
industry, and can we somehow get all these folks together so that we can provide reliable, safe child care for
Mhm.
our citizens,
Hmm.
so that some of these moms and dads
Mhm.
can go
Work.
to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so I'm interested in that.
Okay.
I do want to improve my golf game. I want to do a little traveling, and you know, this is a great, big, beautiful country. I want to go back to Yellowstone
Oh
and see
yes.
that,
Yes.
and just a lot of things I want to do.
Mhm.
My children,
Mhm.
I don't guess they're going to.
Come back home.
Well, and it doesn't look like they're going to get pregnant either.
Oh.
I've been fussing about grandchildren and offered a
Yes.
scholarship and a bonus, and Laura said, "Leave them alone."
And you know, I know they had their careers, and you know, being a doctor. I think two of them are doctors.
Yeah.
Where you send your daughter and her husband,
Yeah.
and you know, that's a lot of education that's going on.
It
Probably
is.
10 years or so,
Oh,
or
yeah.
longer. I'm not for sure.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, so they're settled in. They're doctors now. They're right.
Yeah.
So they need to go ahead and take care of that.
That's
Right. That's
exactly
yeah,
right.
yeah. They're on the other side of that now. But yeah, I know you would love to see that.
Yeah.
You know, and enjoy that.
And Alzaya, I want to compliment you on what you've done with your ministry and how successful you've been. I'm
Thank you.
so proud of your success and with your program. You better say that you've been doing this now for a few years very successfully,
Thank
and
you.
you know you've got a lot of drive and can-do attitude, and I know some things have not been easy for you, and but with the grace of God, you've managed to overcome those things with your family and
Yes, sir.
making sure that works out all right. So I want to commend you on what you're doing and how good you are for the community.
Thank
And that makes Opelika special, makes us a great place. And you know, I hope you and I, you know, we're all going to leave here one
Yeah,
day.
that's right. Oh, yeah. There's no
And,
doubt about that.
So what I've been trying to encourage folks to do, and I want to try to do it myself, just think if all of us tried to make a small difference, just a small difference,
Just little.
in our church, in our school, in our job, in our family, if we all just tried to make a little difference
Mhm.
and then not care who gets the credit.
That's right.
Let
Yes.
everybody gets
All
the
glory
credit.
belongs to
Yeah,
God, and then He'll
that's
allow
right.
us to enjoy it. You
There
know,
you go.
that's
There you
it. Yeah.
And
I love it.
golly, we can and then just accept people for who they are and what they are, and You know, I used to think I could change people. I can't change them.
Can't do it.
All I can do is love on them.
That's it. That is it. That's you said a mouthful right there, Mary.
That's
We
right.
can't change anybody. It's only God can do the changing.
Yeah,
You
there
know,
you go.
He made us so He can change us
He
if we
can.
allow Him to. You know, so some people want to change and some people don't. You
Yeah.
know, but hey,
Yeah.
you know, let them do the changing and let God do it. Well, let God do the changing. You know, and then they have to want to change. You know what I'm saying? So hey, but listen, I'm gonna go back to something right quick, and then we're gonna get ready to wrap things up. When you said the daycares and it's the cost of it is so outrageous, and like you said, if you're in a two-parent home, the wife more than likely have to take her check and pay the daycare. And Lord, if you've got two or three kids and they're kind of right there together, then that's a whole check. My daughter works at Big Blue Marble, and it's in Auburn, Opelika, and two in Auburn and one in Opelika. And they just shut down the one on Airport Road in Auburn. So she was able to just transfer to the one at the hospital, and she loves it. She's been in daycare all of her life, and she's worked herself up. She's a very good teacher. Her supervisors love her. The parents love her. The kids love her. She's anointed for that. And but just to hear some of the stories, how people have to quit because they don't have anyone to keep the kids or they can't afford it. That's kind of heart wrenching. So it would be so great to see something that's in place for those who can't afford maybe the entire amount for their children to come to school and to get what they need while they work. Because you know what? If you don't work today, you don't eat for real because the grocery is high,
Oh, God.
gas is high, the cost of living is just, it doesn't matter who's in office, it doesn't matter who's not in office, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Life is expensive.
It is.
Living is expensive today all across the board.
Yeah. And Alexander, to your point, the Big Blue Marble on Glen
Mhm.
closed. The daycare at Auburn First Baptist closed. We've had two of our daycares in Opelika that have had
Burn.
fires,
Yes.
so they're out of commission at the moment. Now, where are those children going?
Right.
And I mean, it's almost at a critical stage. And I've alerted Mayor Smith and Mayor Anders, and now government, we've got some responsibility
Yes, we do.
to somehow help our families and to help our industry, because our industry needs people to work.
Yes.
And then, but we can't let those children be out there by themselves. We got to take care of them. That's our first obligation.
Exactly.
So thank goodness for your daughter and what she's doing. And so I don't know the answer yet, but I think we've got some good minds, and we can get together and we can figure out how to do this
That's right.
successfully. And it'll be good for the community, not only Opelika, but Auburn.
Exactly.
Because, children are children.
Yeah.
And that little kid in Auburn, I don't know if they live in Auburn or Opelika.
They don't care.
Don't care. That's right.
They just want to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
And everything. So that's good. Okay, well, just keep us abreast on that, So, hey, any parting words before we get ready to go?
Just that how much I appreciate you and thank you, and appreciate you allowing me to be on. You told me sometime back you were gonna have me on.
That's right.
And you did.
Yes,
And,
sir.
I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you for what you're doing in the community, and thank you for the difference you're making.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Well, one more question. Are you still, now that you're retired and you no longer the acting mayor, are you going to be on the sidelines on Friday night coaching the dogs?
If Coach
JC,
Chandler will
yes.
let me, I'm gonna be right there. You know how later I buy 4 corporate tickets. I do a little sponsorship. I don't know where those seats are. They up there somewhere. Laura sat in them a couple
You
of
never
times.
been up there,
I've
have you?
never been up there. I want to be on the Deadburn sideline. And I'm gonna tell Coach Chandler, like I told Coach Moore and Coach
Yes.
before him, I said, I'll be out of the way. I
Right.
ain't gonna get in the way if
That's
I can
right.
help it. So, but this is where it feels natural.
That's
for me
right.
On Friday night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to see you down there,
Thank
and it's so awesome to see your mayor down on the field on that sideline, rooting them on and cheering them on, trying to figure out what they need to do next or whatever, So we're gonna tell Coach JC, Mayor Fuller, Coach Mick Fuller is going to be on the sidelines again this year, cheering on those dogs. And so we appreciate you so much. We love you, we honor you, and we thank you so much for what you've done, your stint as mayor, what you're going to do now that it's over, that you're still working in the community, making a difference like you always have.
Thank
I love you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So listen, that's our show. Remember to check us out on the You Better Say That Facebook page, the You Better Say That YouTube channel, and our website at WYBSTtalkshow.com. Until next time, you better say that.
You better say that.